YouTube universe. What is going on, all my hitmen and Harley Quinns? You know who it is. It's your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist Wusa with an attitude, Hitman Thornton, aka Mr. Wonderful, for our reaction TV. People, guess who's back? Back again. Loki's back. Tell a friend. Loki's back. Loki's back. Loki's back. This has been a crazy month for me. I got so much going on and so much happening. I completely forgot about Loki series that's going to be starting this month. And it snuck up on me when I wasn't looking. Snuck in the back door when I wasn't looking. Wow. People. So, wow. I I checked it out. So I saw the first episode. I know there's a second one. And I'll do that in another video. I tried to do 1 and 2 before at the same time. At one time I tried to do 1 and 2. It didn't turn out well when I did that for something else. So being smart about this, because this show is confusing and there's a lot going on, especially when you're dealing with time travel and multiverses and past and present, and things are going to get complicated and confusing as hell. That's just how it's going to be, okay? And I'm realizing that watching this show, because there's things that are not making sense in some ways, some aspects of it. But I'm finding the show very entertaining, very fun, very interesting. So basically, first episode picks up where kind of around the time when on Avengers Endgame, when they were traveling back in time and they were picking up the Infinity Stones and all that kind of stuff, getting all this information, and they went back to New York when the aliens were attacking. That's the first Avengers movie, when the Avengers got together to fight these alien beings, these creatures, and when they captured Loki and all that, and when they walked downstairs and all that, told Hulk he couldn't fit in the elevator and all that kind of stuff, and they walked Loki downstairs. The Avengers did to turn him over, or they were going to turn him over, and they had the Tesseract in the suitcase, and Ant-Man was there because he came through time, and they kicked the suitcase away, and Loki kind of knows what was going on, and the Tesseract fell out of the suitcase, and Loki grabbed it and disappeared. So this is basically picking up around that time. And when he disappeared, he reappeared. Should have wrote that down, but he reappeared somewhere. I think it was somewhere in Mongolia, I think. And he landed there, and he saw some people there, and he jumped on the rock and tried to do his Loki thing, because he wasn't sure where he was at. And right before he was going to start talking, these doors opened up, time doors, or like these hologram doors opened up, and these military type people come walking through. And one of them says, her name, she went by B-15. I forgot the actress's name. This black lady, sister, said to him, you're in violation, the time code, blah, 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 something like that. And he's like, I'm Loki, I'm a god, you know who I is, you better recognize, you can't hurt me. And sure enough, he got bopped with her little taser stick thing, and when she hit him and he moved in slow motion. His face is all warbly and all that. And I thought the scene was done in slow motion when he got hit, but actually he was moving in slow motion, because she reappeared in frame, just moving, regularly, and put a collar around his neck. And she's saying, you're feeling all that pain in real time, and I was like, damn. So he got hit, and he's like, and she just walked in, put the collar around his neck. So I thought that was hilarious. So these people are no joke. So they basically arrested him because he went off the timeline that he shouldn't have. and that's their job. They're basically like time agents, time hunters, something like that. And so when they were leaving, they set this device down called a time reset device. So wherever space they came in, they have to reset it when they leave, especially, if they're disrupting stuff. So basically, he got taken back to the TVA, which is the Time Variant Authority. And the whole city or wherever they are itself is the Time Citadel or something like that. And basically, he's taken through processing. And he's still not understanding what's going on. He was taken to a room, where his clothes got vaporized, Asgardian fine leather or something like that, and it got disintegrated. He's there butt naked. He went through some trapdoor, got regular clothes put on. But before he went in there, he was in a room before it where this guy, this like office clerk, had these stacks of papers like this thick, basically saying, these are everything that you have ever said, because they're watching the timelines and all that. So this is a stack of paper of everything you ever said. Do you basically agree that you said these things? Sign here. And he's like, what? The next thing you know, you hear this like fax type machine or printout machine. Sheet of paper comes through. He sets it down and it says the word what he just said. And he's signing, here, sign. He realized what's going on. He's like, okay, he signs that. So then he goes into the other room, clothes gets vaporized, he goes to this trap door, and then he has to walk through this like, almost like, a metal detector, but this little person basically was there telling that, do you declare that you're not a robot or an android or something like that? And he's like, wait a minute, what if I am? And he says, no, I'm not. And he was, dang, what if I am and don't know it? That kind of thing. So he walked through and realizes, okay, he's not. So, and then he gets into another room where he literally has to walk through like you do at DMV, the airport, anywhere, movie theaters, any place you got to go through when you have to go through like herd, like cattle, through the ropes, and basically, as he's going through, he sees a little video playing, and he's saying, now I shouldn't be here, why am I here? And this video is kind of repeating back what he just said, and it's explaining what the time variant is and who the timekeepers are, and which are from the comics as well. And this whole thing, is all that from the comics, I understand. And explain, what the timeline is, how it was created, who the timekeepers are, like I said, and what happens if you go off the timeline, and what can happen to you, what can happen to time, and what our reason for being here is. That whole thing it plays like a propaganda type thing. And also behind him, as he's going into his room, you see all these posters like propaganda as well. And when he gets to the front, because right before he had to go through the ropes, he had to take a number. And as he was going through the ropes and all that, and he sees this one person causing problems, he saw them earlier when they said, oh, my father's the head of Golden Markets, or whatever the name of that company is, which they had their own problems these past few years. I said, do you have your number? And he goes, no, I don't have a number, blah, blah, blah. He ends up getting vaporized with the taser or stick, which is called pruning. I understand, called pruning. And then he reaches into his pocket real fast. Loki didn't realize, oh, here's my number. And he realizes the situation he's in. Then he goes into another room, which is like court. And this lady that's sitting on the judge and like a judge, sitting on this big desk like a judge. And the three faces behind her are supposed to be the faces of the timekeepers. And basically asks him, how do you plead, guilty or not guilty, that kind of thing. And he goes into his old Loki spiel and his usual routine that he always does. And he tries to use his powers and realizes his powers don't work. And either I'm trying to figure out, okay, is that because of the collar he's wearing, or is it because of where he's at in general? Powers don't work here at all because of where you're at. And in this time where we are, your powers don't work. So that's the part I'm trying to figure out. So they kind of laugh at him and all that. And then, of course, then Owen Wilson shows up. I remember hearing that he was going to be on this. And his character is Morbius. And he's basically like a same thing, an agent, but a different kind, like a detective. And come to find out, to make a long story short, because this whole show is the show is cool. It's very interesting. I'm very interested to see where this goes. And his character is called Morbius. And basically, to make a long story short, he takes him into another room because he speaks to the judge saying, we want to use him, he could use him, he could help us. Because they smash cut to another scene where Owen Wilson's character went to one of the timekeepers, were into another time, France or Italy or someplace, to where one of their agents got killed. And it was killed by Loki. Because in all the different multiverses, there are different multiverses of Loki. Different versions of Loki in different multiverses. Just like some people believe that with us. There's different versions of all these different multiverses. So he basically wants to use Loki to help him catch this, basically him. And he talks to Loki, and in this room, basically asking him, basically just going over the things he did through his life. You like hurting people, and what would you have done if you became king, and what would you have done? Basically just calling his bluff and all the BS he did throughout the years, and all the stuff that he said he was going to do or what he wanted to do. And which I thought was kind of interesting. So and at one point, Loki does escape because Owen Wilson's character Morbius had to leave the room, and he does a little running around, and he ends up finding one of the agents or clerks, I guess. And because at one point, that's the other thing, he came across some Infinity Stones, but in this time where he's at, they're used like trinkets. They're no big deal. He says, oh yeah, some of the guys use them as paperweights. I'm like, what? So, like I said, a lot of stuff is confusing. So I guess where he's at, the time variant authority, the Citadel where he's at, I guess powers and things like that don't matter. Because when Thanos snapped his fingers and all that didn't affect them because they're in a different pocket of time or something like that. Wow, this show's off the hook. It's complicated, people. It's complicated. Okay, it is. And then at one point when he escaped, he does end up going back. He ran to a few people here and there, but he went back to the room where he was waiting for Owen Wilson's character Morbius, and then he went and saw the video some more of the stuff he did, and he saw the death of his mother in Asgard. That was from Thor, I believe, The Dark World, where she was killed, and I believe he caused the death somewhat, and he saw his own death from Infinity War. So, and that really shocked him. So basically he saw his life, and so that really, so now he finally realizes, okay, shit's gotten real. Shit's real. This whole situation's real. So, and that's when Owen Wilson basically tells him, what do you want from me? Well, we want your help to basically catch you. So, and that's how the show ends. I know I butchered this review. Leave some comments down below of anything I might have left out or forgotten. Because like I said, this show is interesting. I'm very interested to see where this goes. How they, where they take the show. But I am finding it very interesting. Like I said, I wasn't sure how I was going to feel about Loki show. I find the character cool, find him interesting, funny at times, but I really didn't think he was all that. But this show's really making me like, okay, I'm feeling it. So very interesting to see where the show goes. So leave your comments down below. Let me know what you thought of the show and anything I might have forgotten. Because yes, I butchered this review. Like I said, it snuck up on me. I completely forgot that this show was supposed to debut this month. So again, I got a lot happening. So leave your comments down below. Hit like, subscribe, share. Definitely hit the like button. It will help get my video out to the masses and get noticed and all that. So until next time, it's Hitman Thornton, your favorite mother freaking role model, the Buddhist with an attitude, aka Mr. Wonderful, for Raw Reaction TV. Until next time, peace out, biatches. And remember to always stay zen as fuck. All the time. For all time. Okay, I just screwed that word in for the show. Alright. Anyway, deuces, people.